our time is being filled with all the things around us that are not aligned with our higher version and the person that we're supposed to be, that needs to lead. We have to embody this person. We have to embody this baddie. We have to embody the glow up. We have to embody that version of ourselves in order to really show up and step into that leadership position in space. Hey guys, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the feeling of not having time for your dream or your calling or your mission. From what I've heard, so many women feel like we don't have that much time to do the things that we're wanting to do, and it's because we're hustlers, we're doing so many things, we're committing to so much because we're not setting boundaries with ourselves, we're not setting boundaries with our dreams, and we're not really getting clear about what our dream is needing from us. We can easily be achieving, like the outside world might be like you're achieving and leading in everything under the sun. You're making things, you're traveling, you're doing accolades, you're having whatever together, but your core being feels like you're exhausted, you're fully like moving in the 24-hour cycle. A lot of the times I talk about the 24/7 cycle, which has to do with really trying to beat the 24-hour clock 365 days a year instead of creating a flow within your 30-day cycle where you're hustling and grinding and moving in the beginning phases of the month, and then whenever your moon cycle comes, your period comes, you're slowing down, really channeling into the feminine energy, really diving into that and connecting with God during that time. And I want to invite you, number one, to notice where is my capacity at and where am I making space, where am I holding space for things in my reality right now. Because if you are not holding space for your dream at all, of course you're not going to have time for it. Or if you're plugging in and filling in gaps because you're too nervous to like put yourself out there, you're too nervous to feel the uncomfortable feelings of feeling tense, of not knowing what to say, of not being able to communicate, of not feeling courageous, of showing up as yourself, of really hiding away, of thinking that you have to be already at the top, of being like nobody's watching me, nobody's seeing me, nobody's feeling me, nobody's understanding what it is that I'm trying to say and convey. God gives you these things. Nobody has to understand what it is that you're meant to lead in right now, especially at the beginning. You are the one that needs to show up first. You need to heal your stuff. You need to be in this state. In my Sacred Feminine Leadership Immersion, we really dive into connecting and healing the feminine, connecting and healing the ancestral stuff. I've incorporated like decolonization work and really understanding how that affects you in the world and how you show up. And so all of these factors, and then also, there's the mind, body, spirit, there's health, there's the neurons that are activated, all these different things. But long story short, the other thing is like clearing space, learning how to clear space in your reality. So you can do that by cleansing, by meditating, by really allowing yourself to show up for yourself, by creating hardcore boundaries internally and externally, by, by praying, by doing things that open up space. So when you open up space, that naturally allows you to have time for your dream. And also committing to it, showing up for it. We think that our dream is just supposed to be there. We think it's just supposed to be in our lives, and it's not. It is naturally there. It's a talent of yours, but that doesn't mean that it's going to show up for you. You have to show up for it. It's like the dream is like a relationship, right? You have to really commit to being like, hey, I'm here. I'm doing this. And so I want to invite you to not be nervous about like the fact that it might be scary. It might be not comfortable to lead in your mission and your calling. It might not be comfortable if you feel called to lead in something, to actually commit and to show up as a leader within yourself. So it takes steps to get to that space. And like I said, I focus on focusing on your primal state. What are the things that are happening within the primal part of your body? Because subconsciously, a lot of these things internally are sabotaging us from stepping into what we're supposed to be doing in our lives. And if you don't notice that, then you're just going to constantly, 95% of your day, you're constantly being controlled by this part of you that actually is not serving your higher self. It's not serving the calling that you're meant to do. It's not serving like what God is calling you to do in the planet. And then there's like the middle aspect of like noticing and reflecting on what's happening in my present reality, right? So if you know what's happening in the present, that, you know, if you don't like it, you have to take some time to love where you're at as you're growing into the future self, as you're glowing up and choosing to lead in the way that you need to. It does take time to transition because the subconscious stuff is with you your whole life. So getting to a state where you're noticing your present reality, and then from there, like really loving this new version of self that you want to become, really noticing like, okay, what does she look like? How does she feel? How does she show up? How does she walk? How does she talk? You know, and really building this new relationship with her. So don't think that you know, clearing up space and time for your dream is like one of the most beautiful things that you could do. So if you feel called, I do have my 3-month Sacred Feminine Leadership Immersion where we dive deeper into these things. And I'm so grateful that you are here, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.